What made you realize you were in serious danger? I was house sitting for my aunt in rural Vermont when I heard the floorboards creak downstairs at 2 a.m. My aunt lived alone on 40 acres of farmland. Nearest neighbor was 3 miles away, and I'd locked every door and window before going to bed. I lay there frozen, telling myself it was just the old house settling. Then I heard it again, not settling. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate footsteps moving through the kitchen directly below my bedroom. My phone was charging on the nightstand, but the nearest police station was 45 minutes away. I slid out of bed as quietly as possible and grabbed the baseball bat my aunt kept in her closet. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely grip it. The footsteps stopped. Then I heard the stairs creak. Someone was coming up. I pressed myself against the wall behind the bedroom door, bat raised, heart pounding so loud I was sure whoever was out there could hear it. The footsteps reached the top of the stairs and paused. I held my breath. Then they started walking toward my room. The door handle turned slowly. I watched it rotate like something from a nightmare. My whole body coiled to swing. The door pushed open inch by inch. A shadow fell across the floor. I was about to bring the bat down on whoever came through when I heard a voice. "Sweetie, are you awake?" I almost collapsed. It was my aunt. She wasn't supposed to be back until Friday, but here she was, standing in her own doorway at 2 a.m. while I stood behind the door ready to crack her skull open. "Aunt Linda," I whispered, lowering the bat with trembling arms. She flipped on the light and looked at me like I'd lost my mind. "Why are you hiding behind the door with my baseball bat?" I started laughing, that hysterical kind of laughter that comes out when your body doesn't know whether to cry or scream. I explained that I thought she was an intruder. She apologized for not calling ahead, said her conference ended early and she'd taken the red eye back. We hugged, I put the bat away, and we went downstairs for tea to calm my nerves. That's when she froze in the kitchen doorway. I walked up behind her and saw what she was staring at. Muddy boot prints on the floor, size 12 at least, way bigger than either of our feet. They led from the back door, which was now unlocked and slightly open, through the kitchen, and stopped at the bottom of the stairs. The same stairs my aunt had just walked up, the same stairs I'd heard creaking before she arrived. My aunt's face went white. "I came in through the front door," she whispered. I never went near the back. We both stood there staring at those muddy prints, neither of us breathing. The trail stopped at the stairs like whoever made them had heard my aunt come in through the front and retreated. But retreated where? The prints didn't lead back out. They just stopped, like the person was still inside the house when my aunt walked upstairs, like they'd hidden somewhere while she passed. We ran. Didn't grab phones, didn't grab keys, just bolted out the front door in our pajamas and sprinted to my aunt's car in the driveway. She always kept a spare key in the wheel well. We locked ourselves inside and called 911 on the car's Bluetooth system. The dispatcher told us to stay in the vehicle and that deputies were on the way. We sat there for 35 minutes watching the house, every light still on, waiting for someone to appear in a window or come out a door. Nobody did. When the police finally arrived, 3 officers went inside with weapons drawn while we waited in the car wrapped in emergency blankets a deputy had given us. 15 minutes later, an officer came out and walked toward us with an expression I'll never forget. They'd found someone in the basement. A man had been living down there. The basement had a separate entrance my aunt rarely used, hidden behind overgrown bushes on the side of the house. The man had pried it open weeks ago and had been coming and going while she was at work. They found a sleeping bag, empty food cans, and dozens of photographs. Photos of my aunt through windows. Photos of the inside of her house. Photos of me from the 2 days I'd been house sitting, including one of me sleeping in bed that first night. He'd been in my room while I slept. The police said he'd probably heard my aunt come in through the front and hidden in a hall closet until she went upstairs, then slipped back down to the basement when we both went to the kitchen. If my aunt hadn't come home early, if I'd gone back to sleep thinking the noises were nothing, he would have come back up. They found a hunting knife in his sleeping bag. The officer said he'd been watching my aunt for months, learning her schedule, waiting for the right moment. My showing up alone had apparently accelerated his timeline. He's in prison now, serving 15 years for stalking, breaking and entering, and possession of weapons with intent to harm. My aunt sold the farmhouse and moved closer to town.